Right. So whenever there is a test environment we have created, we have to do the test execution. Test execution means whatever the test cases we have prepared, those test cases has to be executed. When it will execute, whatever the code we write, especially on that code, then generally this test executions and all will be taken place. Means code will be generated, and whatever the code was written by the developer team, that will be tested by the testing team. This is where generally test executions and all everything come into picture. So this is where generally this automation testing come into picture. Whatever the automation tool they have selected, either it can be Selenium or anything. So that will be tested by the testing team here in the test execution. So once the test execution is done, the next is test cycle closure. Means whatever the status report of the complete testing. But make sure every code, whatever the code written by the developers must be tested properly. So there is a test cycle report will be prepared. Of course, there is a document which can be prepared in it. Means how quality of testing was done by us, and how much time it has taken for us to complete the whole thing, and what is the cost which is involved in performing all these. All these things are comes under test cycle closure. So this is the complete understanding about software testing life cycle. Being a business analyst, we have to be known, because if you know it, it is more better for us to perform effective. Because whenever we are working as a business analyst, because these requirements will be given by the business analyst to the testing team. Hence, it is always important for us to know about software testing life cycle effective, so that if you know where the requirements we are giving, what sort of requirements testing team is expecting, everything will be known to us well in advance. So based on that, we can move further. So this is where generally the concept called software testing life cycle come into picture, right? So this is all comes under solution assessment and validation. Means if you want to assess and validate the required solutions what we have defined. For example, if you want to develop cloud-based point of sale system, whatever the requirements we have taken, which requirements has to be tested, finally which requirements were finalized. Finalized requirements will be going for the development. So once the development, it will be deployed and delivered to the customer, so that customer will use it in their live environment, right? So this is the whole structure about software testing life cycle. Being a tester, being a business analyst, when we are interacting with the testing team, if you know it, it will be more effective when you are discussing with them, right? So when you are providing any requirements and all everything to them, it will be more effective for us. At the same time, not only the use case, as I told you earlier, if there are any test cases to be prepared, that requirements will be given by the business analyst to the testing team. So as part of manual testing, whatever the test case documents and all everything will be prepared by them usually, right? So this is how generally the uh, structure of a software testing life cycle. Being a BA, you have to be good with. So this is all about business analysis, right? So because if you are a BA, your major responsibility, again, I'm repeating what we have discussed in all these days. So being a business analyst, your major responsibility is to act as a liaison between business and technical team. You are gathering requirements from the customer. You're trying to understand the problem. You're trying to identify what kind of business objectives and goals they want to achieve. So based on that, you are coming up with some solution. Either it can be one or multiple solutions. And whichever the solution is feasible and viable, that will be selected. Those solution requirements will be prepared as a document format giving to the technical team. Technical team will be taken those, because translating into a technical requirement, what hardware, what software, which operating system, all these will be decided by the testing developed technical team. So based on that, whatever the necessary what we call whatever the necessary testing to be done and all everything will be done by the testing team, technical team, including testing team will also be included in it, of course. So finally, whatever the application was developed, these will be delivered in phase wise to the customer. So for that, generally deployment has to be done. In this deployment, there is a concept of UAT, which is called user acceptance testing, because this is the final phase of testing. User acceptance testing means in what way user will accept our work. When customer is accepting our work, will accept our work. As long as it is according to the requirement, what customer has given, customer will accept. This is where generally the concept called user acceptance testing, and finally project will be delivered to the client. So we will be there in each and every phase of the project being a BA. But major job will be involved business analyst in the first phase, especially in the analysis and planning and design. So after that, at the time of deployment and delivery, whatever the requirements, testable requirements and all to provide, this is where majorly the role of a business analyst is more involved. In between, if there are any changes happens in the implementation phase and testing phase, any changes of requirements taken place, that will be gathered by the business analyst from the technical team. That will be gathered with the client team, and what are the feasibilities and all, because everywhere feasibility come into existence and feasibility come into picture. What is feasible, what is not, everything will be decided. So based on that, whatever the necessary changes to be made, all these things will be done by us, and we deliver the quality product to the customer. So this is what generally the whole concept of the role of a business analyst is all about. So if you are a BA, your job is to perform all this. So you must be good at understanding the requirements for sure. Whatever the requirements customer has given, those requirements we have to collect, and that we have to see the possibilities. What are the possibilities do we had and all, everything has to be identified. So once we have identified the possibilities, we have to make sure whether whatever the requirements we have taken, that has to be done by technically development team has to complete it properly. So we have to ensure if there is any conflict management skills, right? So decision making skills, problem solving skills, right? Stress management. So these sort of even behavioral skills also required, because there are sometimes there will be difficult stakeholders where they want you to complete work on time with the limited resources sometimes, right? So how you are managing these problems, right? So these sort of problem solving skills, right? So these are all we call it as underlying competencies. Inherent underlying competencies are also required for a BA so that it will be more effective to perform our duties, because it's all scenario based. If you see closely, as you see for last couple of weeks, this is a scenario based learning, right? So because it's not like a programming language, like learn the basics of programming, then enough. It's not the case. It's a scenario based. You need to understand the scenario, you need to understand the situation, you need to come up with the solution which is rightly feasible for the customer, in what way. At the same time, it must be profitable and beneficial for us from the vendor side, from our side. At the same time, it must be useful to the customer as well, right? So all these things we need to consider, and we have to work upon towards reaching the right goal what customer is expecting. This is what generally the BA role are all about, and this is what all about business analysis. If you have any questions, please go ahead one by one. Any questions? One by one. Karan, Mamata, Pragati, Prajwal, Pratigya, Sapna, Sushma. Please go ahead if you have any questions. One by one. Because from Monday onwards, I'm going to start QA, which is quality analyst will start. Of course, quality analyst deals with the testing concepts in detail we'll discuss, because this is all high levelly BA you have discussed, but detailed concepts will be discussed in the quality testing, quality analyst role. Right, so there we'll be focusing more on the quality standards testing, right? So we focus more on that area. There we'll discuss the detailed parts of it. Any questions? Please go ahead one by one. Any questions, Karan? Any questions to you, Mamta? Any questions, Pragati? Any questions, Prajwal?
Raz, so I was just like wondering, like I understand like we have very limited role in defect cycle, right? Like after the testing, the defect cycle. Is there like any particular thing we are doing in this defect life cycle as
One
a
is test
BA?
cases, as I told you, Mamta. One is test cases we have to prepare. That is point number one. As I told you, test cases is one. And second is the technical testing team will be involved in the user acceptance testing. For that user acceptance testing, whatever the related requirements they want you to furnish, submit, those details we have to submit. This is where generally role of a business analyst, especially in defect tracking, will be involved more. That's it. These are the two major areas. Otherwise, we don't involve much.
Okay.
We have to see from the requirements perspective.
Okay. Got you. Thank you.
Clear? Understood?
Yes. Yeah.
Anyone? Any questions? Sapna, Sushma, Prajwal? Any questions? Because from Monday onwards, we'll start QA, quality analyst. You're going to start, right? So after that, I'll go for D, data analyst. So next session is on Monday again, and we'll start with QA. If you have any, of course, you can ask me later even, but if you can ask me now so that I'll get a time to answer your questions. If you have any questions so that I can answer you. It will be more effective so that you, when you go to QA, you will be go with a fresh mind. When you're going to the quality analyst course. Is it all clear? Pratigya, Karan, Pragati, Prajwal, Sapna.
Yes.
All good. Okay, guys, be prepared for getting a session from Monday onwards, which will be on QA. I am going to provide a new meeting ID for QA, not this one, because this is only for business analysts. For quality analysts, there will be another meeting ID which will be shared to Mr. Sudeep. He'll forward it to you guys so that you can join that link. At same time, time is same from Monday. Meeting ID will be different. So you please join in that link so that you can continue that further. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, it is. So, Raz, like, will you be giving us any like interview questions or answers or anything like
Yes.
that?
I'll send you all the material to Mr. Sudeep regarding to BA. Because there is a material which was prepared by me, few materials of mine, and frequently asked questions, interview related questions were there even in my, it's in my repository. I'll share all the material to Mr. Sudeep. Okay.
Okay,
So
that would be great. Thank you.
you please go through those so that you get some more idea. If you have any questions, you can ask Sudeep to connect with me so that if you have any questions, so that I'll answer you that in future. Of course.
So I don't think we have your email or anything. Like we just like email it to Sudeep, and then from there
Yes,
he's going to.
please forward it to Sudeep so that I will see. Sometime in between, if you want any one more session, one more to have clarity or anything on that. We can do it in time whenever it is required. Okay, we'll do it one more, no problem. But you need to have a breathing time to understand everything what you have gone through. At the same time, because if you go through material, you will be knowing more in detail also. I think that will be enough to you, but still anyway, if you have any questions, you please contact Mr. Sudeep. Sudeep will be in touch with me all the time. So whatever the training related things, if you want me to know for you, right? So if you want to solve any questions, I'm always there for you to help.
Okay. Thank you. Yep.
Right, Mamda? Right, Pragati?
Yeah.
Prajwal, Sapna, Sushma, all the best for your future endeavors. We are meeting on Monday with quality analyst training program. See you all. Have a great day and have a great weekend too. Thank you then. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So